Hey everybody, it's GauntletX and welcome back to some more Magic Arena. Today I'll be playing another Planeshifted Streets of New Capenna Premier Draft. This is Streets of New Capenna except with some rebalances. Cards like Sizzling Soloist got an extra power, cards like High Rise Sawjack changed from a 2/3 to a 1/4, and a bunch of other minor changes like that. It's pretty much just Streets of New Capenna. There's not too much that's massively different. A lot of the core commons and uncommons in the format, a lot of the strongest ones like Jewel Thief, remain unchanged and remain incredibly powerful pack 1 pick ones. This is a 3 mana 3/3 Vigilance Trample that comes with a treasure token, meaning that it's going to help fix for whatever mana you're missing, and just 3 mana for a 3/3 Vigilance Trample, already an incredible deal stat-wise for that mana cost, so Jewel Thief is a really easy way to start this draft off. Our uncommons are fine, Swooping Protector's fine, Sizzling Soloist, now that it has an extra power, probably fine. Unlucky Witness, not that exciting, but Jewel Thief's incredible. For other good commons, we have like Corrupt Court Official and Civil Servant that I like a lot. The Corrupt Court Official because it plays well with the casualty mechanic, and the Civil Servant because it's just in some of the strongest colors and one of the strongest archetypes, but Jewel Thief leaves us wide open to any of the families that involves green. That could be Riveteers in green, red, black, Cabaretti in green, red, white, Brokers in green, white, blue. There's many different ways we could go with this Jewel Thief. So now we have a Sleep with the Fishes. If I immediately want to hop into green, white, blue, into Brokers here, that is very efficient, very good removal. But I have just done Brokers twice in a row, so part of why I'm taking the Cabaretti charm here is because, just for variety's sake, I've drafted the same thing twice in a row. This is something I'll do a lot in drafts, even if I'm not recording. If I get bored of one archetype, I tend to value cards from another archetype a little more highly or a little more than I should. If you're exclusively trying to win, I think Sleep with the Fishes is a bit better than Cabaretti Charm here, because it's going to put you in the strongest family, green, white, blue, and it's also a removal spell and a creature all in one. You remove a creature and get a fish, but Cabaretti Charm after the buff is also pretty great removal and a pretty flexible card for any Cabaretti deck in this format, so we'll take that instead, potentially going green, white, red here. Backup Agent is a very good 2-drop for any white deck in this format, but Civic Gardener is a solid 2-drop for any green deck, and this would keep us locked into just one primary color, just keep us just green for now. In a vacuum, Backup Agent is stronger, but here I might want Civic Gardener because it leaves us more open. We could also take Masked Bandits, which got a buff. All of the mana-fixing large creatures got a buff. They only cost 1 mana to start filtering your mana, and this one has an extra toughness now. 6 mana, 5/6 Vigilance Menace is just an insane late game play. We could even take this. I mean, we're not tied completely to Cabaretti, and it's possible to play 4 colors if you have a lot of good mana fixtures like the Masked Bandits. So actually, you know what? I'm going to roll with Masked Bandits here. One thing we know for sure is we're green-red now. The question is if that's green, red, and white, or green, red, and black, or somewhere in between. So now we have a Warm Welcome. This is a completely different card. I wouldn't even call it a buff. I wouldn't call it a nerf. It's now sorcery speed, 1 more mana, but it comes with an additional 1/1, so it can trigger your cards that care about creatures entering the battlefield well, the Alliance cards, which is pretty cool. So 4 mana for 2 1/1s, and you draw a creature out of the top 5. Pretty cool. Socialite's fine. Capenna Express did get a buff. Now it crews as a 7/7. Crew 3 to crew a 7/7 is pretty big. Wrecking Crew's fine. Implement's great if you have sacrifice outlets, but that's not really a thing red-green can do. That's a red-black thing. I kind of just want to take Cabaretti Courtyard here. There's plenty fine options, but nothing incredible. And the Courtyard, no matter what, is going to make the cut, mana fixing us with red and green. And if we happen to be playing some white cards, it'll be perfect mana fixing, being able to grab red, green, or white. Pick 5 Echo Inspector is the strongest card in this pack. That being said, we're not really headed that way. We're staying out of blue here this draft. Stimulus Package did get a buff. It's now going to give you 2 treasure tokens that you can sacrifice for a 1/1 citizen, and you scry one. That's the buff there. So maybe a green-red treasure deck could be fun. See if the buffs are significant at all for that sort of strategy. Riveteer's Decoy, probably the better choice here. But Stimulus Package seems exciting to me to try out the new ability to scry while you're using it and see if we can make a fun kind of deck with a ton of treasures, maybe even splashing all colors thanks to a high amount of treasure tokens. Alright, well, we're pretty happy to be in Cabaretti if we're going to get a nice Brazen Upstart super late. It's not an incredible card, but it is solid. 3 mana for a 4/2 Vigilance. When it dies, look at the top 5 cards of your library and put a creature from among them into your hand. So it's essentially a 2-for-1, 4/2 that replaces itself with another creature when it dies. So pretty solid card there. Skycryer is another one that's quite good, really good with ways to buff it up, like equipment and +1/+1 counters, and there's a few good ones in this format. Botanical Plaza is also great because it's just very good mana fixing. Actually, yeah, Upstart, Skycryer, Botanical Plaza. Maybe we're supposed to go Plaza here and just have really good mana. Yeah, Upstart's not that exciting. We'll take the Plaza here. Ooh, Orpheo's super exciting. This is a 4 mana 3/4. Whenever you attack, double target creature's power until end of turn. This was already a good way to put a ton of pressure on your opponent if you're attacking with anything. And now that it's a 3/4 instead of a 2/4, it attacks by itself as a 6/4 for only 4 mana. So this is a pretty big threat that can close out a game very quickly. Pretty interested in trying out Orpheo here. Revelers is another really good pick. That would help with the mana fixing, but let's take an Orpheo here, and I think we're looking like we're going to try to play pretty much every color except blue, and probably play as many cards like Masked Bandits and Treasure Producers like Jewel Thief as possible to help us get there. Even if this draft goes poorly, at least we're doing something interesting this time around. That should be cool. We could take Capenna Express as a potentially big blocker if we can sack a treasure for it. We can crew it well. Mayhem Patrol's great if we're getting aggressive. Maestro's Theater's fine. Fixes for red or black. Not really dabbling in blue for that, though. I think I'll go Mayhem Patrol. Get some more cheap creatures that are nice. Racer's Ring's an easy pick here. Masked Bandits would be good too, but green-red are the main colors of this deck. White and black look like the splashes, so we'll take the green-red mana-fixing land. Now we get a red-green-white mana-fixing creature. Looks beautiful. Looks perfect. Gilded Pinions could work out in this deck. We're probably going to be pretty low on flyers, and this is a way to make our late game threats even more dangerous. Vigilance Menace flying 5/6 is almost impossible to block, plus it's giving us a treasure in the early game for our treasure synergies as well as mana fixing. So Pinions could be interesting in here. Rogue's Gallery could be interesting in here. We're going to have 4 colors minimum. So if we draw this really late in the game, potentially bringing 4 cards back from our grave could be nice. And take a Glamorous Outlaw, have all 5 colors. Don't mind if I do. And then a Rocks Pummeler as our last pick, definitely playable. Double blue's a bit hard, even if I'm going 5 color, but that is a powerful card there, the Reservoir Kraken. A 4 mana 6/6 at the beginning of each combat. If it's untapped, an opponent may tap it. If they do, you get a 1/1 fish. So at worst, it's going to sit there tapping down one of your opponent's creatures each turn and giving you a fish. I think I'm going to take it, and we're going to go super wild with this deck. Try to splash in the double blue card. We're really looking for cards like Exhibition Magician now, and I kind of wish I took that Maestro's Theater over the Mayhem Patrol, just in case we wanted to splash blue. I think that would have been a lot better in this deck. Now we're just going to be just the treasure 5-color pile here and see what happens. See how this works out for us. We're probably just going to get curved out by some busted Brokers decks, as would happen in the format if you tried to do this before the rebalances, but who knows, we'll see. Brokers Hideout's pretty good. Pretty good fixing here. Girdergoons is solid in black. I think I really just want to take a bunch of fixing and then green and red cards at the core, and only take non-green red cards if they're really strong. Seems like the easiest way to build this deck, so let's just take the fixing here. Glittermonger, probably actually important for this deck. This deck's going to be real slow. Real slow. Because if we take our non-creature cards out of consideration here, when we're looking at just cards that can actually block, we have 1 at 2 mana and 1 at 3 mana. So Riveteer's Initiate's a little exciting, but I don't think anybody else is going to take that, so we could take Glittermonger instead. And try to wheel the Riveteer's Initiate, have that come back to us. Pick 11. Stockpile's kind of fun, but probably not as good as Glittermonger here. Yep, we're going to be a Glittermonger pile. Okay, we've got a blue-white land, that would be fine. Seraph and Revelers for fixers, and Riveteer's Charm. Green, red, and black are some of the most represented colors in the deck. This is not a very difficult splash for us. And it's a pretty good flexible card. It's removal or card draw. Sure, we'll take the Riveteer's Charm. As far as Adjudicators looks great here. Very good mana fixer, mana filtering card. Big score is fine as well, though. Get a couple treasures off that. Makes the stimulus package a lot better. Yeah, we need to hit a white source or a blue source to actually cast this. And white and blue are the two least represented colors. So it's like good for filtering the mana, but it's going to be hard to cast this turn 5. It might just be on big score, weirdly enough. Although this feels like it goes later than Adjudicators. I'll still take Adjudicators, but I think big score is a better addition to our deck, but it's the kind of card that we should see later than the Adjudicators in terms of getting past more copies of them. I don't think I'm a deck that's going to want like 3 copies of the big score. Deal Gone Bad is fine. We're not super high on removal. And we're mainly green, red, black. Yeah. Should be a good removal spell to keep us in the game. It's particularly good against shield counters. And the fact that they added the gain 3 life to it is really nice. Gold Hound might make the cut, but Cabaret Courtyard's like perfect mana fixing. It's a Triome that involves red and green as options. Alright, another Revelers here. If Plasma Jockey were just like a decent 2-mana creature or 3-mana creature, I might take it over Revelers, but at 4 mana, I've got plenty there. Alright, Civic Gardener, decent 2-mana creature. Let's go. Have something to actually block early game, just a 2-mana 2/2. Join us. Join us in our quest to draft something different. I actually drafted the card that's actually on the draft page when they're showing off the format. It's the artwork of Masked Bandits. Good old Sly Cooper, the Thievius Raccoonus. I don't know if blue's going to make it. I don't know if Reservoir Kraken's going to make it, but we can 100% be red, green, white, black, and have these cards splash for themselves. These cards just provide their own blue mana. I am not going to be happy about running a Cabaret Initiate or an Extract the Truth or Cutthroat Contender, so I'm going to throw an Obscure Charm in the sideboard in case our mana ends up being just perfect. If our mana is excellent, I could put this in the deck as another flexible removal spell. But right now it is not. So I'm going to put Reservoir Kraken in the side as well for now. We've got 5 lands right now, which means that we have 17 non-lands, so we need to find 6 more playables throughout. we could try the Glittering Stockpile. Mana Rock that could sacrifice itself for multiple mana of any color. We've got a huge late game if we throw a Shattered Seraph in here, but I think our late game's already really good, so we'll actually take a Chrome Cat, another filler 3-drop. Alright, final pack, let's go. Is that Sleep with the Fishes again, but double blue is still quite difficult for us. Freelance Muscle's a huge late game play, but I think all of our like 5 and 6 drop slots are just going to be completely filled with the mana fixing creatures, so we really don't need to draft anything that costs 5 or 6. We need to focus on good cheap cards like Prize Fight. Gives us a treasure token, lets one of our creatures fight an opposing creature. It's not excellent because most of our small creatures aren't big enough to win a fight against much, but the treasure token is really good for us. I think I'm still going to take that. Definitely over Freelance Muscle. I just don't think we'll have room with all the mana fixing creatures. We could take Waterfront District over it, maybe, but I think I'm taking Prize Fight. I do need 6 more non-land cards to have a full deck here. Another Jewel Thief. Corpse Explosion's cool. Can be a whole board wipe, but Jewel Thief is so good for this deck because it gives me another early game blocker and a treasure token. It's just so good for this deck, and there's no possible way we're wheeling Corpse Explosion or Jewel Thief. I think Treasure's just too good to... It's a full board wipe. I don't know, we can get in positions where we've only had like a 2/2 die and our opponent's curving out with like 2/3s. I don't know. I'm taking Jewel Thief. That's a really rough one though. Those would both be phenomenal. Riveteer's Overlook. Speaking of phenomenal cards, again, 5 and 6 mana creatures. These are good ones, but we don't really need those. Got plenty of the filtering creatures to be cast on those turns. So we'll take Overlook over Tramway Station. But both are quite solid. Maybe we take Tramway over Overlook. Green, red, black versus just red, black, but it provides both whenever we need them. As in one turn we might need black from it, the next turn we might need red from it, whereas this would have been just a swamp or just a mountain. Actually might be higher on Tramway Station there. Like, we're already going to run like a million forests, so the green part of the Riveteer's Overlook, not dramatically important. Another Tramway Station or a Maestro's Theater. It's one land that tutors for blue. This would be a second land that tutors for blue. And maybe the Kraken comes in. Single island, 2 lands that tutor for that island, 2 mana fixers. I still don't think that quite reaches Reservoir Kraken. This isn't significantly worse than Tramway Station. We don't end up needing double blue, but it is a bit worse, but we'll find out. I'll take the Maestro's Theater. Maybe we still get to play the Reservoir Kraken. Another Glittermonger seems good in this deck. It is slow, but there's no good 2 or 3 mana creature in here anyway. I mean, Roastmaster's fine. I think I like Glittermonger more than Parcel, but Parcel's also good for this deck. I think I want Glittermonger. I want to do some nasty things with Stimulus Package. If we can get Glittermonger Stimulus Package going, that'll be super fun. 2 mana sick creatures. Body Dropper's fine. A little hard to cast though. Green and red are the really easy colors for us to hit. Black is right behind green and red in terms of relative ease of casting. I think I'm on Cabaret Courtyard. Sticky Fingers could synergize with our deck if we can get this onto a cheap creature and hit our opponent with it multiple times. Get a bunch of treasures, use those to cast stuff and stimulus packages. That could work, but it's a little narrow because of our lack of 2 mana creatures. If I had 4 or 5 2 mana creatures, I think Sticky Fingers would be awesome in this deck. But again, with the small amount of 2 and 3 mana creatures, we're not that consistently going to be able to slap Sticky Fingers onto something cheap and get that dream curve going. Quadruple Glittermonger. Oh, this is triple Glittermonger. Not quite. Still nice. Still cool. Splash in a Corpse Appraiser. It's a very good deal. Exile a card from a grave. You get to draw a card when you play it. It's basically like a Organ Hoarder. Yeah, straight up, it's Organ Hoarder from Midnight Hunt. Draw the best card out of the top 3. And that only requires a single blue mana, which is much easier for us to hit than double blue. So I think that's a reasonable splash, whereas Reservoir Kraken still looks sketchy. None of these do anything. Fake Your Own Death does get us a treasure, but yeah, I don't think we're playing any of this. Antagonize, probably the most likely. It's in the main color. Alright, Racer's Ring, sorry Civil Servant, sorry High Rise Sawjack. Although, what is the land count right now? 8? We've got 8 lands? So we have 24 non-lands. Yeah, we made it. We barely made it. Rox Pummeler for the family. Again, got some good late game, especially with like Rogue's Gallery, so. What's the creature count? 16 creatures? Yeah, we have a good creature count. Come on, for the family. Cheap little trick, sure. Another glittering stockpile. I'm not so sure about those stockpiles, we'll see. Paragon's actually fine in here. It did get buffed, but Parcel is really good for us. Just perfect mana fixing. I'll play a Sawjack. Another 3 mana blocker. Okay, this is our pile of cards. I can tell you that much. We get to cut a few. We get to cut 5 cards. Wow. That's more than I thought we would. I don't think I'm going to go for Reservoir Kraken. Double blue is still a bit hard. Our mana base, we have so many non-basic lands that I think our mana base is pretty good, especially because we have some treasure tokens and Ominous Parcel as well. So I don't know if we need the stockpiles here. We need to cut 3 more cards. How many treasure tokens do we actually have for Stimulus Package? Triple Glittermonger? Okay. I'm not cutting Stimulus Package when we've got triple Glittermonger, just going for it. So 3 cards to cut, and we don't have that much room in our non-creature spells, so maybe we're cutting the combat trick of For the Family. Maybe cutting Pinions as well. Certainly not cutting the Charms of the Rogue's Gallery or the Deal Gone Bad. Pummeler could get cut because all of our other 5 and 6 mana creatures mana fix us before we cast them, which is really good. I like Chrome Cat in here because whatever nonsense is happening with our mana, we can cast a creature turn 3 if we have a Chrome Cat in hand. Maybe Sawdrack. I mean, Mayhem Patrol does not make sense in here. We are not aggressive for the Menace. This was a really bad pick. I really should have had another Maestro's land over the Mayhem Patrol. So that might just get cut here because it really doesn't make sense. It's such a bad blocker, and that's what we really need our 2-drops to be. We need them to be good blockers, which this is certainly not. So yeah, we'll cut 3 of these cards. We'll go Pummeler, Patrol. Probably for the family. We're not really curving out that well to be using super cheap tricks. Keep the Pinions for the fact that we can cast it off of exclusively colorless and get a treasure token off it in the early game, and then late game it becomes a win con. Sure. How on earth are we building this mana base? That's the next question. Green is really important. Almost every monocolored card in the deck is green, and most of the multicolored cards are as well. We have 5 natural green sources. And 1, 2, 3, 4 ways to tutor out a forest, which means we have 9 ways to get a green mana. It feels pretty good. We don't have anything in the deck that requires 2 of one color of mana. So no double green, no double red, no double black, none of that stuff. So 9 feels pretty good to me. Next color I think is red, and black is very close. Yeah, red's at 9 and black is at 7 in terms of how many cards of that color we have. So for red sources, we have 4 naturally. And when you add in the ways to tutor mountains out, we have 8. That's beautiful. That's wonderful. We can't cut a mountain because we need a basic mountain to use with the courtyards. When we move on to black, the next most represented color, we have 3 natural sources and 1 tutor, so only 4 black sources. We do only have 7 black cards, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ways to get a treasure token. But I do kind of want to up that. Maybe we can cut an island for a swamp here. We'll see. When we look at white cards, we only have 1 card in the deck that requires white mana and doesn't fix for white mana. These cards are all white, but they'll provide the white mana themselves by getting exiled attached to a land. So we really don't need more than 1 plains for sure. Like, we got 1 plains to tutor out with our 3 courtyards, our broker's hideout. We also have a botanical plaza, so white is good. So the question is blue good? If blue's good, we can cut 1 island and add a swamp, and then call it a deck, which is what I really want to do. I think we're going to end up doing that, but we'll see. Okay, blue is rough. Blue is rough, but I only have 1 blue card in the deck, right? It's just for Corpse Appraiser. So, you know, I can just sack a treasure for that if I don't hit blue. And that's the only time I would need blue. Every other time I need blue, I can filter for it off of the card that needs the blue mana. Spar's Adjudicators, Glamorous Outlaw. Yeah, I can cut this 1 island. And then add 1 swamp. And then I think that's where we want to be mana-wise. Although it's hard to say when we are so all over the place mana-wise, plus with all these treasure tokens and nonsense, but pretty sure this is how the deck is supposed to look. Yeah, let's pretty up these lands, and that's going to be the deck. All right, here we are with the final build of today's deck. This is going to be a 5-color good stuff deck, really utilizing the buff on the mana fixing creatures. The fact that you can throw these onto one of your lands to turn them into a triome for only 1 mana now. So we've got a lot of those creatures, 5 of those total. We also have a lot of treasure token because they did give some of the treasure cards a buff. Glittermongers are now 2/4s instead of 1/4s, so they're a little better. And the stimulus package now scries as you sacrifice your treasure tokens. So we're trying some fancy stuff here. Green-red treasures at the core with a really good mana base, a ton of non-basics here to help us splash in every color under the sun. We didn't quite get to a point where I think that splashing a Reservoir Kraken is worth it. The blue splash a little difficult with just 3 blue lands and 2 blue mana converters, but maybe with the amount of treasure tokens we have, we should put that in there. I have it in the side for now, but maybe I'll put that in later. This looks like a really fun deck. I'm very, very happy to have drafted this deck, even if I go 0-3, because at least we're doing something spicy. We're doing something interesting, something we haven't been trying out here, and it's really utilizing a lot of the changed cards in the whole plane shift, the rebalance here. We've got all the buffed mana fixers. The buffed Glittermonger's a buffed Mr. Orfeo, now a 3/4 instead of a 2/4. We've got the buffed Cabaretti Charm, dealing damage equal to twice the number of creatures you control. And the buffed Deal Gone Bad, getting us some life now, and buffed Ominous Parcel, being cheaper to pull out of basic. So we are really utilizing the more efficient mana fixing to try to go wild with it and go for a full 5-color good stuff deck. So we'll see how it runs, but this should be a pretty fun time as we head into the gameplay. All right, here we are, game 1 with a glacially slow hand. That being said, it's kind of how our deck is. I'm just gonna roll with it and cross my fingers and hope to not die to a Broker's deck just curving out on me. If I play Hideout now, I need to grab green so I know I can play Gardener next turn. So I'm going to play Racer's Ring first, then go Swamp Gardener and play Hideout on 3 so I can actually grab a blue source. This allows me to get my creature out immediately while still grabbing a blue mana off of the Hideout. Or a white mana, I actually don't know yet. But we definitely don't want to grab a green from Broker's Hideout when we have Racer's Ring already and a Masked Bandits. Inspiring Overseer. Alright, well, we are getting pooped on by some very good commons here. Good curve 2-drop, 3-drop. Do have a prize fight. That'll be really good once I get Glittermongers down. 2/4 bodies fight pretty well. If I try to play Chrome Cat here, I won't be able to play a Glittermonger next turn because I'll be playing a tapped card. And the Chrome Cat doesn't block that well here anyway. So I suppose I do just grab my island or plains. And then we'll use Masked Bandits on the swamp as well. Don't think it matters too much. We have like 1 blue card and 1 white card in terms of cards that won't be able to mana fix themselves. Oh yeah, I forgot Civic Gardener can untap lands. We can actually do both. Yeah, that's why Civic Gardener's so good. Never mind, we're not playing Masked Bandits this turn then. We get to still play the cat, thanks to Civic Gardener. Ooh, Rogue's Gallery? Probably not supposed to keep that right now, but it's so good late game in our deck that I'm gonna keep it anyway. If this game manages to go long, that's gonna be our win condition, is using that to return 4 or 5 creatures from grave to hand, eventually. Oop, that is our prize fight target, that's for sure. Otherwise, that's gonna keep getting bigger. Whenever they gain or lose life during their turn. Yeah, that's pretty spooky. Can't really trade with Veteran right now because they'll get a shield counter onto that. Hopefully they're not gaining or losing life just yet, because I can't prize fight without losing one of these creatures, so I'm just going to tap out for a Glittermonger. Like a Vigilant Civic Gardener here. I probably should have used the Masked Bandits, is what I should have done. Throw the Masked Bandits onto one of the lands, just so I have better mana on future turns, and then untap that land. Because I still don't think I'm going to end up blocking with Civic Gardener. Alright, fingers crossed, no second Inspiring Overseer. That would be incredibly good with our Vampire Scrivener. The Fiend's Guidance, okay, just make the first Overseer bigger, that's fine. This is essentially an equipment, because they can keep replaying it from their grave. So it's essentially like equip 3 to give +1/+1. Alright, Celestial Regulator. That is not going to keep one of our creatures locked, but it is going to tap down the 2/4 so we can't block the Veteran well. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 damage here. Alright, well, they haven't played any life gain or life loss yet for Scriveners, so we're just going to keep hoping that that never happens. And I'll prize fight whatever they don't put a shield counter on. Okay, well, they put the shield counter onto the Overseer, so we'll kill the Scrivener then, still. So we know that that's not going to destroy our soul. Got a Cabaret Charm as well. I'm kind of just dying to my lack of flying in this deck. If I tap Glittermonger, I have the mana to prize fight and Cabaret Charm. Think? No, I don't. Because I'd have to go a green and 1 to use prize fight to get a treasure, and Glittermonger would get me another treasure. I'd then have 2 treasures, so I could add green-red, but then I don't have white, or I could add green-white, but then I don't have red because I'd have tapped the Racer's Ring. Oh. Yeah, I mean, we're on prize fight instead of Cabaret Charm for now. Oh, maybe Masked Bandits actually gets there. Masked Bandits does get there for Cabaret Charm. Spicy. Okay. Can't kill Overseer with that, though, because it's shield counter. I can kill this Regulator. Doing 4 damage to it or giving my board +1/+1 trample. Those both do the same thing. I don't get any damage in either way. I should have killed that pre-combat, and then I would have got in for 3. Missed out on that damage, but we're definitely killing it here. That might be big. The fact that I missed out on that damage. That would have helped me outrace my opponent a lot, them being down to 11 now. Oh no, that's another flyer. As long as it's attacking, it can attack and give itself flying, right? Oh no, it only gives other creatures flying. Okay, it can't give itself flying. That's good that it can't do that. Rogue's Gallery only picks up creatures, so we can't get removal back. Still just dying to flyers here. I guess we play Monger and Parcel. Not going to trade Chrome Cat into a shield counter right now. Okay. Buy Glittermonger too. I guess we are trading Chrome Cat into a shield counter. Rather not go to 2 life. So that leaves me dead to 1 more attack instead of 2 more attacks. This gives me another turn. Oh! Okay, that's incredible. That is perfect. We're gonna deal combat the Overseer. Do it before they draw a card because they had counter spells. And now they don't have an opportunity to have this be a counter spell. I should probably mill myself because I could mill their Expendable Lackey or something like that. Wow, they did top deck the out to that. Yeah, alright, we can't win. That was just the straight up perfect draw. Oh wait, we still gain the life? Even though there's no legal target? Yeah, it has separate targets. We're still targeting our opponent, so... Okay. Cool. I guess we do live for another turn. I'd love to tap Glittermonger and get my land right now, but then I don't block the agent. We did mill an expendable lackey for our opponent. That's rough. That's rough. They had an empty hand and then hit the phase out when we had deal gone bad. That's so brutal. I think that would have been where we turned the corner if we were lucky, but we were not. Because yeah, then they would just have this fish that I blow up with my parcel. Oh, that's so brutal. Dang. I think we'd actually be turning into the lead there if they just had a land instead of their ability to phase out the Overseer. 0-1 to start it off, because they'd be down to a 2-3 and we'd still have a 2-4, and then we'd be about to play a 5-6 Vigilance Menace. Rough. Alright, we're on the play here with red-green mana, and black and white. I'd like more lands than this, but the colors are great. God, I have 4 basics in this deck? Oh no, because I have a plains and an island. Or that I couldn't get there, or a swamp and an island. I think I have 7 basics in this deck, which is still just nuts. And limited. I have way more red cards than white cards, so I'm going to grab the mountain. Just in this deck in general. Alright, Civil Servant, hello there. I do have a black card in hand I might need the black source for first. Got another forest, so I'll put it on that one. We've got a Broker's Hideout now to get the blue source for the Corpse Appraiser, but I can't cast it immediately. I do have a turn 4 Stimulus package if I play my tapped land this turn. And then I can throw Revelers onto the mountain. This is red or green, so that'd be red, green, white if I need it, and it would be red, green, black if I need it, because I go red, green, black. Yeah, we'll take a Civil Servant hit here. Revelers onto the mountain. We're probably playing a Stimulus package, I guess. Taking another Civil Servant hit, but we're gaining some life. Civil Servant into Jewel Thief. Pretty nasty curve, turn 2, turn 3. Again, this format does not feel any less aggressive when they don't hinder these kind of cards that much. I mean, Civil Servant losing lifelink is something. That doesn't make the deck less aggressive, it makes it less good at fighting other aggressive decks. Because it still gets just as much power. I can Corpse Appraiser, but there's no creatures in grave, so I guess I could play a 1-4 and play this Maestro's Theater. 1-4 is good on this board. High-Rise Sawjack helps, I like that change. At least for our kind of deck, having a 1-4 to block 3/3s is great. Our mana is just beautiful here. We can play Rakish Revelers next turn and still have every color but white. Likely the play, because it gives us a lot of blockers. So we can actually start trading some creatures off and see if we can get this Corpse Appraiser active. Well, we cannot block that Jewel Thief now. It's got a security bypass and +1/+1 counter from backup agent. So we need to draw straight removal rather than more creatures now, because they're going to keep conniving as it hits us as well, which means it'll keep getting bigger if they discard non-land cards. And it'll set up their draws even if it is discarding lands. It's getting them some card selection either way. They did discard a non-land card, so that is a 5-power creature coming to us next turn. Riveteer's Charm, perfect draw. They only have 1 3-mana creature, so they will have to sacrifice Jewel Thief. So I will play that. Is there any reason to play like Stimulus Package and use the treasures to play it? Nope, because we don't get anything from that by doing so. Yep, Riveteer's Charm it is. And sit behind our 1/4 body. Forest, pass the turn. Spar's Adjudicators. Oh dear. Next turn, if they have another land, they get to shut off my blocker, hit with everybody, and have a 4/4 on board now. Adjudicator's still a great top end for green, white, or white, blue aggro. Broker's still some great stuff. They go for a Case the Joint instead, though, which I'm very happy with. I think there's the more time my opponent gives me, the better. I'd be much less happy if they're just curving out with big, aggressive plays. Can Corpse Appraiser here, but I can Revelers. Best stuff on board. I don't need to deal Gone Bad anything here. I guess I don't need the Revelers yet, so I could just praise that Jewel Thief. Sure, let's set up a draw here. Is the best way to pay for this? Probably. Get our own Jewel Thief, sure. Pretty good with Stimulus Package for sure. Six mana from our opponent's Broker's deck. Freelance Muscle is the play. Essentially a 6/6 right now. As soon as they play Adjudicators, it's basically an 8/8. My best bet against that is to chump with 1/1s, which I can do with Stimulus Package. Don't actually need to play Revelers to do that yet. And then by chumping with 1/1s off of Stimulus Package, I'm scrying while chumping, which feels good. I'm scrying when I convert these into 1/1s. Oh. They can blow up their backup agent and Civil Servant and get to 3/3s with flying. I don't think they want to blow up any of our cards, so they just destroy those two and call it a day. Yep. Soul of Emancipation, still a great bomb. One of the coolest things you can do with that, since it is in Brokers, is if you have any shield counters, then you can just blow up one of your cards with a shield counter on it, and all you do is kill the shield counter because it's destroy, not sacrifice. I mean, Jewel Thief's good with Stimulus Package out. I'd probably keep it. Doesn't really get us out of this mess, though. Well, I'm not sure there's anything in our deck that does. We can deal Gone Bad one of these Angels. For now, we're just going to keep chumping with 1/1s, I think, so yeah. A pretty efficient way to chump more. Super Island. Blue, red, green, and white source. Yeah. I should put a stop before my draw in case I don't want to make a 1/1 when they attack, but that's most likely what I'm doing. 5 mana, I can play the Revelers. Then they can only attack with Muscle and the Flyers. The Flyers do hit me pretty hard, though. Actually, no, I have a Sawjack. They can't really attack with the Flyers. They'll have to adjudicate my Sawjack. Which one of these is on the island? The one on the far right? I think I do that one first. Yeah, they don't really hit me unless they adjudicate the Sawjack this turn. We'll start expanding the board to where we might get to the point where we can block the muscle with 11 power. They attack with an 11/11 free jam muscle and we block with 2 revelers and a 1/1. That's the plan. They're adjudicating the Sawjack. We are taking 6 in the sky. What are you pulling out with your broker's hideout? Just another... I don't know why I was so curious. It's just a land. A green, white, or blue source. And they're only attacking with the flyers. They're not even sending the free jam muscle in. They don't even want to attack with the 11/11 now. I mean, I might as well use the package right now. So just in case I want to attack with this thing, it's not summoning sick next turn. I do like that Glamorous Outlaw, but again, it doesn't get me out of this. I don't think there's anything in my deck that does. I can look through the list. Nothing in my deck gets me out of this. Gilded Pinions is pretty good, though. Yeah, I mean, let's cry that away. Maybe get closer to Pinions. Prize Fight. That's actually pretty good here, too. Actually very good here. I can afford to play that after playing a Jewel Thief. I don't have a creature big enough to survive the prize fight. But trading like a Corpse Appraiser into one of these flyers still seems like a pretty good deal to me. So we can do that, and then we can deal Gone Bad later. And now I have a lot of stuff on the ground because I'm just keep getting treasures for this stimulus package. So they can't really do anything on the ground. We just need to worry about the flyers, and now we have the ways to deal with 2 of them. And they can't attack in the sky either unless they deal with our Sawjack. Echo Inspector, welcome. Welcome to the game, flyer number 3. That is pretty bad. Pretty bad for me. You do not want to see more flyers right now. And Rafine's Informant, that's fine. I have infinite 1/1s. Not really, but I have a lot of 1/1s on the ground. To double block that thing if it's a 3/2. It's going to be a 3/2. They actually discard a Speakeasy Server, so their other card in hand has to be pretty dang good. If it's better than a 3/3 flyer on this board state, a 3/3 flyer that gains them like 10 life when it enters, 8 life when it enters, close enough. Their last card in hand's got to be great. Alright, we're going to prize fight the Echo Inspector here because we can actually fight that without losing the creature this time. Unless the last card in hand is interaction. It is not. And I can go ahead and scry here, set up the draw. And Swamp is fine. 6th mana, we can play the Bandits. Play Jewel Thief. Hold up Deal Gone Bad if I spend treasure on it. Don't think it's what we like need here though. That's a win condition. We actually want the Corpse Appraiser to die now, though. We want all of our ground creatures to die. Now we have a plan to close out the game, which is Rogue's Gallery eventually. Could also try to mill them out. Just deal Gone Bad right now before they draw into a potential counterspell and mill them a bit. Seems fine. Unless their last card in hand is Disdainful Stroke to deal with this. Alright, we milled them a bit. Kind of on the mill plan, sitting behind all this and being able to bring it back later if it all starts dying. Well, that's another hit in the sky. Sawjack is not blocking this turn. Very good Broker's deck from our opponent. Soul of Emancipation now a 6/8, making the Freelance Muscle, what, a 12 something? Block with a 1/1 here. We're going to have to play another Reveler so that we can easily stack up to 12 power. Ooh, opponent's scared of milling out. We get to trade some stuff out and get our Rogues Gallery all active? Okay. Okay. I'm down for this jam. There's got to be a better way to block here. Uh, 5, 8. Right there. Should I make it so they only killed these two and the 1/1 survive by blocking like that? But then both my creatures die on the Adjudicators, but that's fine. Take 3, take 6. I don't know if this is the best way to block, but it's up there. It's solid. Down to 9. The land here, which is pretty good. We're at Masked Bandit's mana now, but I'm probably still just on Revelers. Jewel Thief, and I can Rogues Gallery. 2 creatures in grave. Not gonna Rogues Gallery just yet. This is a 7/7? This is an 8/8. Yeah, I'd rather just Revelers. I can block an 8/8 with a 5/3 and a 3/3. So now if they attack all, we're going to block their 8/8 with a 5/3 and a 3/3, block their flyer with a 1/4, chump the Adjudicators, and then next turn we play a 5/6, and that's bigger than everything they have on board once the muscle and the flyer are gone. Okay, I think we can just Masked Bandits here. Safer to hold up Cabaretti Charm, so I might Jewel Thief holding up Cabaretti Charm. Yeah, safer line. We'll go for that. We also get to scry this way. We just need to hold. We just need to survive for 12 more turns. That's a decent bit of time. Nope, let's not do that. We don't want to sack it to the package here. Pinions. Ooh. Ooh. Pinions, and we start attacking with Jewel Thieves, Vigilant Flyers. Now we have a way to win the game other than milling them out. And I can still hold up this Cabaretti Charm. Off of the treasure token. Just barely, but off the treasure token I'm holding up Cabaretti Charm. Alright, pass turn. Rumor Gatherer. I can set up their draws here, but 10 cards left in their deck, so hitting the second ability to make them draw a card is not phenomenal for them. Unless they have some bombs left in there. They could have a Broker's Ascendancy or something they need to dig to, in which case that'll be pretty bad for us. Cool, let's scry. I always click on the wrong card first. Glittermonger seems pretty good here. I'm not holding up Cabaretti Charm if I cast that this turn, though. I probably should have thought about that. I think I'm still going to cast it. Shields down for 1 turn to assemble the Glory combo. Glittermonger Stimulus package. I turned my Glittermonger into a Presence of God. Lagrella. Glittermonger backup agent, it looks like. Yep. Well, I'm not gonna get 1/1s every turn for the rest of this game, but I've got 2 more Glittermongers out of these 13 cards. 2 of them are Glittermongers. Maybe I will. Who knows? I do have a Cabaret Charm as well. I can just kill Lagrella. But I think that's going to be a last resort. I want to play it mega safe with Cabaret Charm. Could even use this to find lethal if I got enough 1/1s. So if I had a Glittermonger out, +1/+1 trample to everybody eventually would get pretty deadly. I'm gonna play the Bandits. Now that I'm thinking of that, +1/+1 trample to everybody, I think I actually want to try to get this board state to where that just kills our opponent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, that's going to block everything that it blocks. All the power that it blocks. It's going to block 6 damage there. So just don't even think of Revelers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 toughness against 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14, plus 8, 22, plus 2, 24. 24 minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We hit them for 9 and put them to 3 life. That's not dead yet. Cabaret Charm is not lethal yet. Getting so greedy with this Rogues Gallery. I probably should just pick up these 2 creatures, but too bad. I keep attacking with Jewel Thief. Eventually I Cabaret Charm for lethal to them. I probably should have sent Mass Bandits in too. Oh wait, no, they have the Free Jam Muscle. They could block with a 2/1 and a 7/7. But yeah, no, this way, if I get to the point where a Cabaret Charm is going to be lethal damage to them, then I can just attack in for lethal. And if I don't, I just get to hold this up in the meantime, so if they do anything really nasty, we can kill the creature that they're trying to do it with. Like if they tried to Broker's Charm as removal, but they chose to use it to draw 2, which means they're at 5 cards in library. Play a Citizen's Crowbar here, sure. They can blow up the Stimulus package. But 5 cards in library, now we are getting really close to just milling them out. I do put a card back on top of their library. They're going to equip the Crowbar to Lagrella. They're going to use Lagrella to blow up maybe the Pinions, actually. They have 2 cards in hand. This Charm isn't going to do anything here, right? No. They have 2 cards in hand. They have 1 card in hand. It's okay. I need to do the math again, but I think we're at lethal. So they don't have any cards left. I have 4 hourglasses to count this out. I guess they have 1 card. If that's not going to be a 1-mana trick, most likely. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 19 toughness. I need to deal 29 damage. 6, 12, plus 8's 20, plus 8 is 28, plus 2 is 30. I'm doing 29 damage. Attack with everybody, +1/+1 trample to everybody. And we'll see how bad I am at math. The only way I lose is if I'm bad at math, or if my math is correct, the only way I lose is if this is for the family, is what they just top decked. 1 mana +4/+4 to a creature. And even then, I don't think I die on the crackback, because I'm going to kill most of their creatures that they're blocking with. And I can play a Glittermonger after that. So I still don't lose, I just don't kill them immediately. Which does put me at risk of dying if they draw into another way to get more damage in next turn. +1/+1 trample. Yep, we are gonna get there. A very long, very hard-fought game against a pretty great Brokers deck there. Very happy to be able to turn that around in a grindy one there. We played through almost the whole deck. Really nice deck from our opponent here. Soul of Emancipation, some Adjudicators, Broker's Charms, the Crowbar, Informant. Surprised we were able to get there in the end, but pretty happy with that performance from this deck. Pretty unhappy with the performance of Rogue's Gallery, though, because that was the game for it. The massive grind out, and then you try to Rogue's Gallery at the end to get a bunch of creatures back. But even in this massive grind out game, we ended up with 2 creatures in our grave most of the time for our Rogue's Gallery until that last turn there. After that combat, then it's okay, well, now I can Rogue's Gallery for this is my blue card, this is my white card, this is my green card, and this is my black card. Pick up 4 creatures, but that's after I already just won. So, Rogue's Gallery, bit of an underperformer here for now. All right, here we are on the play for game 3. Excellent mana. Yeah, a bit slow, but our deck is certainly slow. So I'm going to keep this one here. Get the white mana off Adjudicators, so I think I'm going to Courtyard for the red here, with multiple red cards. Maestro's Theater for an island or swamp. Later. Okay, we got the swamp, so we can Theater for the island. Play Parcel this turn. Opponent is on green-white. Start with a turn 2 Attended Socialite, a 2/1 that gets an extra damage every time, or an extra power for the turn every time they play a creature. Not much to do yet. We can Stimulus Package next turn. I think we're going to put an Adjudicators on probably this mountain, then play an island next turn. Don't think I'm cracking Parcel when I have 5 lands in hand. Not super going to want a 6th. Stimulus Package is really good against a 2/1. They won't be able to attack in with it unless they play a creature, because otherwise I just get to trade a single citizen into that Socialite. And Civil Servant is hitting the board. Luckily they don't have another citizen to tap alongside it yet, but we are going to take 3 damage from the Attended Socialite. Alright, let's make our mountain a 4-color land. Ooh, it's a quadruple ohm. Okay. Glamorous Outlaws spicy. We're definitely playing the Stimulus Package this turn, though. Now we've got 1/1s to block the Attended Socialite. If they play 1 creature and attempt an attack with it, I'll probably trade 2 1/1s into the Socialite here, as the treasure tokens aren't that valuable here, seeing as we're at 5 mana already in hand to play Adjudicators next turn. And 5 mana for the Parcel, and the mana for Charm. The only thing we can't cast without the treasure is the Glamorous Outlaw. Need to hit one more land before that, but we have plenty of things to play. In the meantime, they do play a creature, Civic Gardener, and that means Civil Servant gets to attack as a 3/3 here. Yeah, that's pretty rough. I am going to trade 2 1/1s into Socialite, though. Probably going to scry away from the 6th land right now, because again, we know what we're doing next turn, and the turn after that we'll probably Parcel. Okay, well. No, I'm not gonna say if there's not a land on top, then we don't need to worry about the scrying away from land here. Yeah, Glittermonger's gonna be huge with the stimulus package later in the game. For now, 5 mana, 6 mana total. If I keep the treasure, that's not enough mana to play Glittermonger and Cabaret Charm. Yeah, we're just gonna Adjudicators next turn. Let's get this Socialite off of us. It's like maybe we let it in because we have a 2/4 coming down soon. We have a 4/4 next turn. I know I can just block it in the future, but I don't want to just take 6, go to 13 here. Oh, that's incredible for us. If I can get the combat trick out of the way so they have less opportunities to make their creatures big enough to kill a 4/4, that's very, very good for me. I think that's better than killing the Socialite. The Socialite's going to be easier to deal with on later turns, but the For the Family on later turns would make it easier for them to deal with my 4/4 blockers and 2/4 blockers and stuff. I'm pretty happy with that exchange. Alright, Jewel Thief. Looks like no attacks this turn unless they have an additional For the Family. Okay. Get the Glittermonger out for the Stimulus Package combo, and we have got the 1 mana up for the Glamorous Outlaw to go on to this Plains. Could put it on the Botanical Plaza, and then the Plaza's a 5-color land. Again, it doesn't really matter. We're doing pretty good in terms of the mana base this game. This has been really fun. I'm just casting a bunch of 3-color nonsense. All different 3-color pairs. This deck is sweet. Even if it 1/3s. The Judicators has been held for ransom. I don't know why I can't say Adjudicators. Alright, they don't have a good attack here. Actually, they can attack with 2 3/3s. They have a fine attack. If I had an instant speed way to get a treasure token, that'd be incredible. But I don't. Then I could surprise, block a 3/3 with a 2/4 and a 1/1. Not a thing we can do here. So we'll be taking 3 and going to 13. High Rise Sawjack. I think I'd rather play that and hold up a Cabaret Charm than play this Outlaw right now. This would not hold up a Cabaret Charm. This is a bad auto tap. Oh wait, yeah, it would. Plaza. Yeah, Plaza's a green source. I was gonna say it's not holding up a green source, but then I realized it has to tap the green source anyway. Yeah, this is the best auto tap. Never mind. Sorry, Arena. This is anti-arena slander. So the plan to take over the game is to be able to make a 1/1 and scry 1 every turn off of Glittermonger. And we have a Cabaret Charm for interaction to try to not die. Run out of town on the Glittermonger. That's annoying. Wow, that is really rough. Like our best blocker. Okay. I'm going to scry 1 before it goes on top, because obviously if I choose to put it on top, I know it's there. Get rid of the tramway station from below the Glittermonger. I think I am putting it right back on top and recasting it next turn. Ooh. This is going to be a better block than I thought it would be. I was planning to just kill one thing with Cabaret Charm, but now I can kill 2. I do lose a citizen to do it. Actually, I don't even lose a citizen, because I Cabaret Charm here, get +1/+1, kill both these creatures, take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm getting pretty low, but clearing out 2 creatures instead of 1, 3, 3 seems better. Well, this gains life now. Maybe we're on Outlaw. I should probably on Outlaw. I don't remember if it gained life before. I don't think it did. I think it was just straight damage before. But the life gain is huge here. It's going to be the biggest creature on board. Opponent still has only 3 lands. We are very late in the game here. Well, maybe these turns have just been long. We're only 14 cards deep. 7? It's turn 7 around that. Alright, they can't attack into that, and now we start popping off with Glittermonger, hopefully. Elegant Entourage, that can give them some attacks. Luckily I have an Ominous Parcel to use on that. Only gives their other creatures +1/+1 trample. They can't use it on itself. Ooh. Alright. Since they can't use it on theirself, I can block that with a 4/5. They need to play 2 creatures to get something to 5/5 status to get around my Outlaw. That is not a creature. That will be a 7/7 attacker, but I'm going to get 2 1/1s every turn now. To chump block that all day, although giving it trample would make it not a chump, so we probably need to parcel the Entourage, so they have no way to give trample on the board. Best way to try to lock them out of the game. Get rid of any evasion they have, and trample is a form of evasion that is threatening here. I'm not going to put a stop in my upkeep because I want to have 2 4s up to block with. Use them in their end step. Ooh. Ooh. Corpse Appraiser Jewel Thief puts 6 more power toughness on the board. That's pretty far from Capenna Express being able to attack it super well. Even if I don't blow up Entourage. That thing is still threatening, though I'm going to blow it up. And then we can try to appraise for whatever next removal spell we need if they play another evasive threat. Glittermonger Stimulus Package was kind of fun before. It always felt like really slow to get it going. Glittermonger Stimulus Package, when you have 2 4 Glittermongers that are actually like substantial blockers and you're scrying every time you use the Stimulus Package, this might just be the truth now. They do have 4 mana now, but they still don't have the 5th land for their adjudicators. Drawn pretty few lands this game. We haven't hit too many either, but we've been scrying some to the bottom. It's part of the reason. Oops. Don't want to stop during my main phase. Pass turn, let's get some treasure. Get some scry. Rogue's Gallery's been so bad. There's just nothing in our graveyard until we're gonna die. Might cut Rogue's Gallery for the double blue Kraken in between games now. That might have been the deciding point. That's 3 games in a row now where Rogue's Gallery is just not good to draw into. I'll take a deal gone bad. I'll take more interaction. Cast it off of Glittermongers if I end up needing to. I think I am on Corpse Appraiser here. Holding up Deal Gone Bad with Glittermongers. Still can attack into a 7/7 vehicle. We're going to need to wait until our board is monumentally wide to kill our opponent, but we can get there with double Glittermonger. Oh, Mr. Orfeo, that's also horrifying. That's a lot of damage. Attack with a Vigilant 6/3 Trample. I guess they'll just trade. Yeah, Capenna Express still blocks that, but I can attack with an 8/5 Outlaw. Could get there off that. I can't quite hold up Deal Gone Bad playing Jewel Thief here, because I'll have 3 total mana left, double Glittermonger and 1 treasure. So I'm just going to keep holding up Deal Gone Bad. Play my cards out a little slowly here. Another Civil Servant for our opponent. +1/+1 on the Attended Socialite. Probably no attacks. Crew the Capenna Express with the Attended Socialite. They are going to send in a 7/7. Alright, I have a Deal Gone Bad if things go awry. I think I block with a 4/5 and 3 1/1s here. They kill my 4/5 and 2 of the 1/1s. I could block with the Outlaw and the Appraiser and they just kill the 4/5. Okay. Traded our 4/5 up into the 7/7. And they're gonna pass. Let's get our soldiers. Our citizens, not soldiers. I'll keep a Rakish Revelers. I'll keep this treasure around then. I can pop it whenever I need the blocker. I have exactly enough to Deal Gone Bad after a Rakish Revelers here. If I tap both Mongers, so we'll play the Revelers. And pass the turn. Again, I think we have the inevitability here. It's just going to take a while to get to the victory. Unless our opponent has some real good bombs in there. If they have like Broker's Ascendancy or something, we might have some issues. As it stands, they can block with 4 creatures. Block, 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 block. Take 6, 7. We are not attacking yet. I guess they take 9 because we get 2 more 1/1s right now. Get 3 more right now if I want. And I can play Orfeo and still hold up the 4 for Deal Gone Bad off Double Monger. Sure. I'm definitely going to scry at least until I hit something good on top. That is not that. That is not that. Okay. We hit something good on top. Yeah, I can afford to cast that and hold up Deal Gone Bad. The glitter mongers that just scry into our other glitter mongers. Oh my lord. And our opponent isn't on black, so they can't have a Nightclubber here or anything to give -1/-1 to everybody. They could have a Depopulate. That would be pretty bad for me. That would destroy all creatures. Everybody who controls a multicolored creature draws a card. How much have I scryed? How much of my deck do I know? I know the bottom 6 cards. So there's 10 cards that I don't know. A flyer, okay, well, we're gonna have to kill that. I'll kill that in my turn so I can still convert all the treasures into 1/1s. But yeah, we're gonna have to pop the Deal Gone Bad. Actually, no, we have a Sawjack still. Still for the best, probably, to get rid of the evasion. Ooh, unless we get our own Gilded Pinions. Slightly less necessary then. Although now we can use Gilded Pinions as a win condition instead of a defensive play. Not holding up anything anymore, so we'll just play the Pinions. Start attacking for 5 a turn with the Revelers. They have 4 blockers, 1, 2, 3, 4. They take 1, 2... Plus they take 14 damage if I attack with everybody. We're getting there. Actually, I'm about to make 5 more 1/1s. We're tremendously getting there. They probably shut off the Revelers, so I can't throw Pinions on it and hit them for 5. Yep, fair enough. Not going to tap until we're through combat. We're through combat. Let's tap all the Mongers. Get 5 more 1/1s. Put that land on bottom. Keep that prize fight. Okay, they're gonna scoop them up. They're like, yeah, they're very over it. It's gonna say, yeah, it'll take a while to get there, but if they don't have a Wrath in their deck, I don't see what can go wrong now. We're actually at the point now, we're only like 2 turns away from actually finishing them off now. Especially when the draw is Prize Fight, because then we get to play Jewel Thief and Prize Fight, get 2 extra treasures, which means 5 more 1/1s. The next time we start cracking the Stimulus package, we'd have 5 more 1/1s and killing Adjudicators. So I think we just have the, what we need to deal 23, and they have 5 blockers, so we need 28 or more attackers. I think we'd probably have 28 attackers after Prize Fight Jewel Thief. because here we already had one trigger on the stack, giving us one more. And then this treasure for another one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus 14, 19. We have exactly 20, and we were going to get 2 more, so we were going to have 22. Then I was going to play Jewel Thief Prize Fight, which lowers them by 1, and adds 3 attackers to my board. It adds Jewel Thief and 2 treasures for 2 more 1/1. So that's 3 more than 22. That gives me 25. Glittermonger gives me 3 more. That puts me to 28 attackers against 4 blockers after a prize fight, which means we'd be dealing 24 damage if they don't play another creature next turn. So yeah, if not 2 turns from now, because maybe they play another blocker, then 3 turns from now, we definitely have the lethal go wide. All right, well, that was fun. That was stupid. We got the triple Glittermonger stimulus package game there, and it's going to be 2-1 now for this very goofy Streets of New Capenna Planeshifted deck. On the play here, we get the green source from the courtyard. We can play Jewel Thief on 3 and then some Glittermongers. They're not nearly as impactful without the stimulus package, but turn 3 Jewel Thief is still pretty exciting. And the mana is solid here. We have 3 main colors and a bunch of treasure tokens for whatever we draw into. So the fact that this hand can cast pretty much anything we draw into makes it a pretty reasonable keep, I think. Even if the Glittermongers aren't particularly exciting here. Opponent starts with a Broker's Hideout, might just be another Broker's deck here. The vast majority of the meta from what I've seen so far. They are blue-white so far with a turn 2 Broker's Veteran. Set up the Masked Bandits as our turn 6 play. And drop a Jewel Thief that Broker's Veteran is going to have some trouble attacking into. They are on Brokers, blue, white, and green. Broker's Charm to kill the Jewel Thief, sure. That's one removal spell out of the way at least, and now we can just play a 2/4 that can block the Veteran all day long. If I don't hit an untapped land next turn, I can tap the Glittermonger to get the treasure, play my tapped land, and cast Masked Bandits. Darling of the Masses, that is a terrifying card. I could play Revelers without tapping Glittermonger here, which is pretty exciting. I think I will do that. That's Maestro's Theater for the red source. I have more red cards than blue cards. And I won't have a red source after the Masked Bandits is cast. And then we will cast the Revelers. The mana's wonderful in this deck. The mana's just popping off all the time. But the bomb power doesn't feel quite there compared to just what an average Broker's deck can do with some spooky stuff. If we can pull off a stimulus package, though, can be nasty. Citizens Crowbar. Alright, well, we cannot pull off a stimulus package because they can crowbar it if we ever try. Crowbar onto the Darling of the Masses. Trade into Revelers, 100% A-okay with me. Get that out of my life. Please and thank you. 6 mana Masked Bandits here. Yep. Five, 6 Vigilance Menace on the board. And until they use their Citizen's Crowbar, we could make it a flying Vigilance Menace with Gilded Pinions. Which might be worth it, because it might draw the Crowbar as removal, so if we ever do draw in a stimulus package, we can go for that win condition as well. And then if they don't use the Crowbar, I mean, they're just going to take 5 a turn for Masked Bandits. Ooh, nice. Rafine's Informant discarding the Rafine's Guidance, so they essentially are up a card there. Draw into the +1/+1 aura by casting it from grave. Cabaret Charm. Spicy. I will have the mana to cast that after playing and equipping Pinions, thanks to all the treasure I'm getting from Glittermonger. So we've got a pretty safe Pinions play. It requires a white mana for them to blow up the Pinions. So Bandits hits hard this turn. But Pinions is not long for this world, most likely. Dang, that doesn't have to be at a sorcery speed. They can do that at instant speed to try to get a big block on the Bandits, but then I can ruin that with Cabaret Charm. Killing their biggest blocker or giving my creature +1/+1 trample. Reservoir Kraken. I'm going to need the mana for Ward, but I guess Cabaret Charm is going to have to get used on that. That is a bit too much. I may tap an untapped creature I control to tap that. If I do, I give them a 1/1. I'm not going to do that, because it is not a haste creature. Now I have the mana for Ward. Oh my god, Orfeo. Orfeo Masked Bandits? I forgot to make a treasure off of Glittermonger. That was a big mistake there. We would have had 8 mana. 8 mana? 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I could have tapped Glittermonger for the 9th. That would have been exactly enough to play Orfeo and Cabaret Charm, paying the Ward cost. Well, I could still play Cabaret Charm without the Ward if they block with stuff other than the Kraken. And then I just try to outrace them with Masked Bandits and just let Kraken do its thing all day long. I could also just tap Kraken down during my combat. Give them a fish if I do that. I'm actually going to give them their fish here. Attack with a 10/6. And they're going to try to get me by blowing up the Pinions and blocking with everybody, but then I'm going to destroy them with a Cabaret Charm. I'm going to sit here for a second, so it seems like I'm disappointed. And resolve. Be like, oh shoot. That's so bad for me. Big bada boom. +1/+1 trample. My creature no longer dies and I trample over for 1,000,000. They're down to 10. And I still have Masked Bandits Orfeo on board. At the ready. Pretty good turn. Good recovery from missing the treasure there. I was going to say, if they want to attack me with their Kraken, their blocks are significantly worse. So I'm not going to bother tapping that down until I move to combat. Then I have lethal on board if they don't have an instant speed trick off of Masked Bandits alone. Oh wait, no, they get the fish. They get the fish to me tapping this. Still make the Bandits lethal, I think. Maybe I'm supposed to add power to Glittermonger, make the board as wide as possible. Kill shot is a little sad there. Still threatening a lot of damage here. Take it all, okay. Play another Glittermonger, I think. Chrome Cat's a little better. Just higher power. Sure. Sets up our draw as well, see if we can find a way to get this last 5 damage. An island is certainly not a way to do that. Falco Spara. Well, might get double bombed out of it. I think if they want to hit me with the Kraken, that's still fine. Okay, I'm pretty sure we're on Corpse Appraiser immediately. To see what I can draw into. We exile the Darling from their grave. Glamorous Outlaw's big. Drain them for 2 life? I just need to find a way to get 3 more damage in. I don't want to reveal this Glamorous Outlaw. And you get 3 more damage in. It's pretty hard to do here. I believe I'm tapping Kraken, attacking with a 4/4 Monger, an Orfeo, and a Chrome Cat, so if anything gets in, it's for 3 damage. It's probably the idea. Could choose Corpse Appraiser instead, so I can still attack with the 1/1, but that is only going to hit them for 2, which doesn't get Outlaw lethal. Uh-oh. Arena? Arena? I clicked on the Citizen. Hello, Magic Arena. Time to reboot. Cool. It's my opponent's main phase now. We still have outs. Well, this was a really good, really close game. And losing a turn to internet issues or arena issues, really frustrating. And they got a lifelinker too, so that turn probably cost us the game. If we would have hit them for 3, we would have won, but now they have a lifelinker out, so I can't even rely on trying to do that this turn. Oh. Got a stimulus package now, which is cool. They don't have the mana to use Initiate for life gain right now. They might not want to next turn, even if they do. So if I can get them down to 4, I still just win on the spot here. Or get them down 4 damage. Alright. That's so annoying that the internet would cut out right there, or Arena would bug out right there. I'm still not confident what happened. I think my Arena bugged out for a millisecond, or my internet bugged out for a millisecond. Like there was a power surge or something. Because when I first refreshed another website, I couldn't get in, but about 5 seconds after I could, but I couldn't get back into Arena for like 30 seconds to a minute. So I'm dealing 0 damage to my opponent, which is just wonderful. I think I'm actually on Stimulus Package over Glittermonger, because it makes my board wider to find the damage I'm looking for. They give this thing lifelink, I'm snap scooping it up. Okay, they don't give it lifelink yet, but they can give it lifelink on blocks now, so going wide doesn't even work. Oh. That kills Falco or the Kraken. Probably do keep that. I'm gonna play out the long game now. Don't think we're attacking next turn, so I keep these treasures for now. We go for the Glittermonger game. Disdainful Stroke. Alright, well there's no playing around that. Because they couldn't counter Charm with that anyway, even if they wanted to. And I think it's better that that gets countered than Charm gets countered here. Yeah, we Charm them. Sack the Kraken, keep the Falco. Attack with a 6/4 Orfeo, that forces a double block there. Oh no, they have lifelink. Doesn't force a double block. You have a 2-mana piece of interaction here? The cheapest thing I can think of is Kill Shot for 3. Okay, no, they're just going to gain the life. Hit them for 7, but they gain 3. They go to 2 life. Outlaw's lethal if they don't gain life on the next attack now. Alright, we get to scry 1 again. They probably have to hold Initiate back on blocks here. So I don't think they'll gain life here. If they don't have another Disdainful Stroke, Outlaw just kills them. Voice of the Vermin. Social Climber. That's tapped out. They can't give the... Oh my god, really? Well, I need to deal 1 damage to them here. That is a lot easier said than done. Oh, of course they had a life gain land here. Good gravy. Mashed potatoes. Oh. They're not going to let a single 1/1 through. There's no reason for them to do so. Six for Orfeo just gets blocked by Social Climber and killed. If I attack with everybody, they kill there. Bounce there. Kill and kill. It just accomplishes nothing now. I can make a treasure off of Glittermonger. I have 7 mana total after I play the Swamp. Treasure off Glittermonger and use Racer's Ring here. And we just sit here praying they do not attack with that Initiate. What an incredible Riveteer's Overlook. We can now confirm with 100% certainty that we would have won this game if I actually got to play all my turns. Instead of getting booted out one turn. How monumentally close we are here after skipping a turn. That makes sense. Lock down Orfeo. Social Climber's just sitting here gaining all the life in the world, and the game draws farther and farther away. Feels pretty legitimate. Deal gone bad here to kill Initiate. They still have Social Climber though. Still feels good. Adjudicators is good too. Now they're milling as well. They get their Fiend's Guidance back. You can attack me for 4 a turn in the sky. Drill Thief's pretty good. Just keep hitting creatures and gaining life. Down to 15. Cabaret Courtyard. Grabs another forest only at this point. Yep. Play Adjudicators this turn. Does that give us any good blocks or any good attacks? We have 6 attackers against 4 blockers. Not quite, not really. Getting close though. Maybe I just play this Outlaw. It feels so good for finding lethal out of nowhere, but Adjudicators does the same thing. Could attack with a bunch of 1/1s here, and then they kill 2 of them for free, but one of them is a 2/1 that kills a climber. Actually, no, there's 1 2/1 and 3 1/1s, so they just kill 3 for free. Oh, I can't cast Adjudicators right now anyway. Okay, well then, oh, I can't cast the other one either. I don't have a blue source for either. Okay, well, post-combat, thanks to filtering, playing Adjudicators and just not attack then. Forgot I lost all my hourglasses earlier. Thanks, Arena. We'll just shoot Spara and get some turns of freedom here. Or get a turn of freedom from getting hit. Try to grind out the game for the mill win, potentially. Certainly not going to happen against Lagrella. Lagrella on Orfeo, Jewel Thief. Okay, they don't choose the Jewel Thief. They were thinking about it though, so Lagrella on just Orfeo. Okay. Trade Adjudicators. Get a Revelers here. That goes pretty wide. Senate and Falco's getting a little bold. 5 blockers. 9 attackers. I hit for 4 minimum. If I hit for 5 here, I just win. We do that pretty easily next turn. So we go for next turn kill, not this turn. If they play another creature, though, they gain another life. Then it's moderately harder. Okay. Pretty decent path to lethal this turn, so we're just going to go for it, and whatever happens, happens at this point. I'm going to do a full flunge, so another Glittermonger doesn't change that. I mean, this is lethal on board. I hit them for exactly 7 on board. And then we still find lethal through a single removal spell thanks to Glamorous Outlaw. They don't have a counter on anything to give lifelink this turn with that lifelink trick. Seven damage? Wait, what? Okay. I mean, I was gonna win either way because I had the extra 2 damage in hand, but that was a weird choice of blocks with the kill shot there. They block a 1/1 and then kill shot the Jewel Thief. They'd go to they'd be at 5 life now. Or sorry, they'd be at 2 life instead of 0. So kind of a weird kill shot to end it off, but whew, I am glad we somehow over several turns found a way to still end that game, because that was a brutal disconnect. I do apologize for the saltiness there. There was definitely a large level of frustration having disconnected on kind of a pivotal turn like that in such a good game otherwise. But we still somehow find that victory in a very close match. Very nice games there. Very nice match. Good stuff from our opponent. Looks like 3-1 it'll be. Alright, here we are in game 5 now. Pretty great mana, and I totally forgot with how long last game went and how long a lot of these games went that I've been meaning to swap this Rogues Gallery out for the Kraken. It is a double blue card, but we've been having pretty good mana and a decent amount of treasure token production to cast it, and Rogues Gallery has been completely inconsequential to every game so far, just completely kind of pointless. We already have the green source here. We can grab a white off this courtyard. I already have the red from station. Yeah, grab white off of courtyard. Revelers goes on to that, I guess. Goes on to that plains. Playing against green-blue, probably Brokers again. That is the one 3-color family that aligns with green and blue in it. Riveteer's Decoy. Alright, we're getting curved out as well. Not good for us. We are a slow deck here. Luckily, we've got at least a Jewel Thief to get started as it comes to blocking, and then Revelers on turn 5 is going to be a lot of blockers as well. We could even play it turn 4 if I play Swamp into it by cracking the treasure, which might be worth it. Alright, decoy for Jewel Thief it's going to be. Prevent some damage here. Opponent drops a Disciplined Duelist. Very bad time for us. We would really, really, really like to draw into a deal gone bad if we're lucky to give that -3/-3 so that we don't have to dump multiple spells into killing it, because otherwise we need to pop the shield counter and kill the duelist. Quite difficult to do on a 2/1 double striker, as 1/1s cannot pop the shield. That's usually the best way to play around it. Block with a 1/1, get rid of the shield counter because you'll have prevented damage, but because of the double strike on this, we have to block it with something with at least 3 toughness to pop the shield counter off of it. Could still block with Revelers here. I do set up a Rogue's Gallery that way, and then Cabaret Charm can kill it next turn if they don't play a trick here. I might just do that. Trade our 5/3 for their 1 shield counter. That really just kind of shows off how powerful the Disciplined Duelist is, and Inspiring Overseer, the best common in the set. This is why Brokers is still the best family. They've got some of the most busted uncommons and commons. Not really going to be able to play this Outlaw on turn 6 because both my lands come to play tapped, unfortunately, but I can Broker's Hideout for the blue source so I don't have to reveal it and exile it. Yeah, let's grab the blue source and let's just charm the duelist before I die to that thing. Now all I've got is a chump blocker. But we're at 20 life, which is a good start. And Rogue's Gallery would bring back 2 creatures. This could be a good game for Rogue's Gallery. Take 3 here. 4 damage if they want to use Grifter and Connive. Looks like they don't. Be down to 17, and a Voice of the Vermin. They are still curving out on us. Not a big fan of that. That thing attacks as a 4/4. Well, every time it attacks, they make one of their creatures a 4/4. So they could actually make the Overseer a 4/4. Since I would just bounce my 1/1 off their shield counter anyway. Glittermonger's a pretty good draw here, because I don't really want to pop Rogue's Gallery just yet. And it's a pretty amply sized blocker. Whoop! That would be a horrible attack. We definitely want the 1/1 back, because the 1/1's going to block Voice of the Vermin and get rid of its shield counter. So our plan now is to play Outlaw next turn, try to get the Outlaw in the grave, then in the future we get to Rogue's Gallery for the Outlaw, and the Jewel Thief, and the Rakish Revelers. So we take 2 damage in the sky and we're down to 15. And then they're going to play a Civil Servant still. Expanding this board state, they have 3 cards left in their hand, part of the power of the Inspiring Overseer there. Getting a great creature onto the board and keeping your hand full so you can dump more stuff out when you play it. The Connive from Grifter as well, getting rid of a land there, getting rid of a little bit of flood. Cast this Outlaw. Now they do not have great attacks, and Riveteer's Charm, it's not actually great here because it just kills Voice of the Vermin. Still feel like it's something that's worth drawing. Play that alongside the Rogue's Gallery. Chrome Cat, I'm not so sure that's fully worth drawing right now. Mainly because it doesn't synergize with Rogue's Gallery. Rooftop Nuisance. Casualtied. Well, that's bad. No blocks this turn or next turn. We're probably dead then. Just a good aggressive curve from the Broker's deck. Like a lot of damage from this Voice of the Vermin trigger. Down to 9. Riveteer's Charm to kill Voice of the Vermin means they're only attacking us for 4 damage next turn, 5 maximum if they play another citizen. I was going to say civilian because of civil in the name there, but that's not what it is. If I Rogue's Gallery and don't play Riveteer's Charm, I have 5 mana up afterwards, which means I could Gallery into playing Revelers immediately. I kind of have to Gallery now, which is really unfortunate because it means we're not getting an Outlaw back as well. We're not getting full value. I think I'm on Gallery replay Revelers here. The 5/3's here to block the 4/4, and we have a chump blocker. So it stops just as much damage and leaves the Riveteer's Charm in case our opponent plays like a big bomb creature here. Strong Arm's horrible for us. That would have been horrible for us regardless of our play, because Riveteer's Charm can't kill Overseer. It has to kill Voice of the Vermin since that has the highest mana value. That might just mean we're dead. Witness Protection means, yeah, they've got a lot of trample there. I think we're just dead. I guess they don't have a citizen to tap, but yeah, we've got 2 blockers for all these attackers. Pretty ridiculous Brokers deck there from our opponent. Very good curve, lots of great removal. Wait, how did I not die? I must be really bad at math. Well, I'm very dead now. I can't kill the flyer. And I can't draw any cards. I guess I could if I used the exile mode of this, but then I die on the ground. I mean, yeah, I guess we might as well see what's coming up. Nothing that deals with flyers. We're super dead. Brokers takes it again. 3-2 it is. Here we are in round 6. No cheap creatures, but that's just how our deck is. Keep the hand. It's got excellent mana. It's got treasure tokens. What more could you ask for? Let's get a green source. Let's get that immediately. It is always essential. Opponent starts with a Maestro's Theater for an island. We got green, black, red all day long. We grab blue off of this thing. Alright, opponent might just be Maestros. We just see blue and black from them so far. Tramway Station, drop this Civic Gardener. Next turn I can cast Glittermonger if Civic Gardener gets to attack next turn, because then I can use the Gardener to untap the Racer's Ring that I'm about to play. And then once Glittermonger's down, we could drop down a Stimulus package and try to control the game with that. Opponent is at least Obscura, white, blue, and black, but an Ominous Parcel from them makes me think they might be doing some similar 4-color shenanigans. Or 5-color even, which would be spicy. We cross our fingers and hope for no Disdainful Stroke. Make disappear. Well, that works too and is also quite bad. Disappointing. Corrupt Court Official. I can actually just discard Pinions here. Don't really have any excellent choices. Maybe Prize Fight was the choice because I don't really have a creature big enough to use it yet. That could be pretty important later. Opponent is going to parcel for a land. They're going to grab a Plains, so it looks like most likely just Obscura here, white, blue, black. Drop a stimulus package. So I have the treasures up for our tricks if we want to use those. And then pass the turn. And we're going to start scrying out of hitting any more lands. Quasar, Augur of Agonies. Whenever they draw a card, we lose a life. And they gain a life. So we would love to kill that, but prize fight not big enough right now. Cabaret Charm will be big enough. Probably Cabaret Charm that. Deal Gone Bad's a solid draw. I'm going to keep that on top. I think I'll leave this treasure for now. I only need 2 creatures to Cabaret Charm for 4 damage. Oh, I actually need that treasure to cast this Cabaret Charm in the first place. That's unfortunate. Having to use that instead of getting a 1/1 out of it. Yeah, I'm not in love with that, but I still think it's our best play. In Rogue's Gallery, their Quasar back to hand. They're looking around, looking through the graveyard, looking at our stimulus package. A Backstreet Bruiser is the play. Kind of impossible to attack through right now with our 2/2. I don't want to deal Gone Bad that thing. Especially with our opponent looking through their graveyard. They could have that casualty spell, the Dig Up the Grave, 3 mana, mill 2, return a creature from grave to hand. And casualty by sacking Corrupt Court Official to do it twice. Ooh, wow. Alright, Mr. Orfeo. Join us. We know they can't have a counterspell here. They could have removal, but I can't think of removal cheap enough to kill Orfeo, except for Kill Shot off of the mana they're currently holding up. Okay, so we are going to trade for the Bruiser here, get that out of the way. Could have prize fought it, but I still don't want to prize fight a 3/3 defender. And Orfeo can just start attacking himself. Okay, it is Dig Up the Body from our opponent. That is what we thought. Wow, they have a Psychic Pickpocket. That's not good for us. That card is very strong. 5 mana for a 3/2, bounces any non-land permanent to its owner's hand and connives when they play it. This card is ridiculous. Another top uncommon. Phenomenal card. We're just going to slam out a Quasar. 1 white mana up. What do they possibly have here? Oh, land for turn. That makes sense. Well, we get a huge Orfeo attack. And then I can fight once Orfeo's power is doubled. Because the only thing they could have to save Quasar now is going to be Boon of Safety. They can't afford kill shot still. That's 3 mana. They could have like Revelation of Power. Block and Revelation of Power. Knockout blow. Well, guess I am only playing around the commons. It's been that long since I played the format. That's so nasty. Yep, that sucks. Can't do anything about that. I'll just kill Quasar while I still can. Scry 1. Get that out of the way. Girder Goons getting blitzed. Good value. Love that card. 4 mana sorcery, deal 4 damage to us, make a 2/2 and draw a card. Very, very good deal. Oh. Oh no. It only picks up 2 creatures still. God dang it, Rogue's Gallery. Why? Well, that's the only play we have, so that is still the play. On the plus side, the card that I keep forgetting to sideboard out, if I had sideboarded this out and this was the Kraken, I couldn't afford it anyway. I don't have double blue. So it actually would have been worse if I sideboarded the Kraken in. Oh my god, Vampire Scrivener, Inspiring Overseer. Good old, just completely unnerfed Inspiring Overseer and Jewel Thief, making Brokers definitely the best color pair, still. Our opponent is Obscura here. I just think it's really funny with all the cards that they rebalance, that Inspiring Overseer and Jewel Thief are just completely unchanged. Yeah, Overseer Scrivener is nasty here. Can only play 1 spell this turn because everything in my hand costs 4. Can't get any attacks in with these, even if I put Orfeo down. I can go ahead and deal Gone Bad to Scrivener. Probably the best bet here. And hopefully I don't mill any expendable lackeys. Did not mill any expendable lackeys. I don't know if our opponent is still here. They are. Looking around. Another dig up the body. That is very good. They are milling themselves a lot if we can try to grind the game out. But Quasar makes it hard to do that. 9 cards in their deck. Every time they draw a card, they get to gain a life and make us lose a life. Yep, Quaze is coming right back down. Got another Glittermonger. But sitting behind an impenetrable wall of 1/1s is not going to get us there. Orfeo isn't either. Not going to make anything big enough to attack into Quaze except Orfeo himself, which will just get pickpocketed anyway. Vampire Scrivener with Quaza Augur of Agonies is another pretty nasty combo, because they're going to gain a life every turn for Scrivener to keep getting counters. We've even got the Maestro's Theater here for the counter on the Scrivener. Alright, show me your combat trick. They have one unrevealed card in hand. That has to be a combat trick here. Cool. Got the mana for Orfeo and Glittermonger now. Then they bounce one, hit us for 6 in the sky, hit us for 6 in the sky again the turn after this. We are mega dead. And it's going to be 3 and 3 for this deck, unfortunately. Still an average run for such an off-the-wall kind of wild deck here. It's pretty impressive. I'll absolutely take it, but that's probably going to end the Streets of New Capenna rebalance drafts for me, as it doesn't feel very rebalanced to me. Just feels like good old Streets of New Capenna. Was happy to do at least one pretty off-the-wall spicy strategy using a lot of the rebalanced cards, some better Glittermongers with the better stimulus package. That was really fun in the game that we did that. All of the improved mana fixers were sweet as well. This was a really fun kind of 5-color deck, but still just kind of dies to the good blue-white stuff. Blue-white and green still being incredible colors, particularly blue and white. Yeah, and Brokers still feels like... I don't know if Brokers still feels like completely bonkers. It does to me personally, but what I can tell you with 100% certainty is that Brokers is still the vast majority of the metagame. Even if Brokers isn't as good as it was before, it's still getting drafted like just as highly, so you still end up playing against it a whole lot of the time. So it is a pretty stale format, even with the rebalances, in my opinion. So that's probably going to end the New Capenna drafts for me. But was still cool again to hop back into the format. Was definitely fun to play around with this pile of nonsense. This was a good time, even if it did only lead to a 3-3. Don't have many things to say about what over and underperformed. I just think the deck in general performed about how I thought it would. Right average, right in the middle of 3-3. Again, the mana base was incredible. The Jewel Thieves are incredible cards. But I just think this kind of deck is not quick enough or supported enough, even with the rebalances, to really try to get a full 7-win run out of against some of the better curved blue-white decks, particularly Brokers. But yeah, I had a good time with it. Drafted a really cool deck today. Can't be too unhappy about that. That is going to end today's video. If you enjoyed this draft as much as I enjoyed playing it and you'd like to see some more, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. That'll let the YouTube algorithm know to send you some more of these videos in your recommended feeds. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll be back again soon for some more Magic Arena.